Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. Today, we're going to be talking about My Hero Academia, Season 5, Episode 4, and there really isn't anything to complain about. I mean, a lot of fighting, a lot of strategy, Class 1A versus Class 1B, great episode overall. The only major complaint I can say that I have with the entire episode is we got like an unnecessary recap, and I'm never a major fan of recaps unless there's 2 weeks plus in between episodes, or the first episode of the season makes sense for a recap. But we got like a 2-minute recap from last episode. Combine that with the intro as well, and the outro. So it's basically we're losing like 5 or 6 minutes of actual showtime. So the total run time for the entire episode is about 22 minutes long. Minus 6. I'm bad at math. Yeah, so we'll say 23 minutes. So let's see, 3. So that's like, we'll say you get like actually like maybe 16 to 17 actual minutes of this episode, as opposed to, tacking a couple extra minutes on there. But everything's timed out correspondingly with that specific time frame, and it is what it is, unfortunately. So let's just kind of get right into the nitty-gritty. So Kirishima gets taken out fairly quick, along with Koda as well. I don't think I've ever shown Koda or really talked about Koda too much with my reviews. That's why I made them my thumbnail. And they both get taken out by Mr. Class B. What is his name? Shinshida. So he comes in, takes both of them out fairly quick. He realizes that Kirishima is really the only one on their team, strength-wise, that could possibly stand up to him. So catches him off guard. They get captured both fairly quickly, right away, and then that's kind of all she wrote for those two. They are out, and then we're left with Asui. We are left with Shinso, and then we are also left with Denki as well. Mr. Electricity. So we are left with those three, and we think they're in trouble, like really, really bad. But turns out, no. They have a great plan between Denki and Asui. They're both smart. Asui, we already knew she was pretty smart. Denki, yeah, 50-50. He was at like the bottom of the class. But they both, make a strategy in order to defeat the other team, Class B. So what Asui does is she uses her stomach acid to mask the scent, so that way Shinshida doesn't, find their scent. They can't tell who is who's coming from what direction. They don't know what quirk they're going to be up against, ultimately. Shinsui, he still feels like he's a little bit of a crutch. His movements aren't as quick as the other students. He hasn't really been in combat as well, but his quirk game is on point. He's definitely been doing a lot of training, and the brainwashing does come into play again against Miss Vine Girl, Shizokuzaki, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. He ends up brainwashing her and using her to kind of capture the other two once they both get knocked out. So what happens there is Air Bullet Guy, I guess is the best way to describe him, Airbox Guy. That guy is Koji Tushiburaba. Good God, these names are going to kill me. He gets captured fairly quickly. He's got a little bit of a crush on Asui. I'll throw an image of that as well. I thought that was kind of cute. He was like, that was her tongue. I was wrapped up in her tongue. And it kind of, it makes the screen all pretty and pink. I thought that was pretty cute, how that whole situation panned out. But he got captured fairly early in the episode as well, along with Kirishima and Koda. And what happens next, as I said already, is that Asui uses her stomach acid to mask the scent of everybody, throwing off Shinshida, the beast guy. And it messes their team up really badly. They also have another guy on their team whose name I don't seem to have in my character sheet, which is really weird. Maybe it's Hirurin, possibly. That's his name. He has the ability to use scales. He can harden, similar to Kirishima, but he can also shoot them and weaponize them, which is an interesting strategy as well. He was left to kind of guard the cage, near the cage. So he, I think, was kind of the weakest team member at that point in time out of all of them. Shinzaki and Shinshida, Vine Girl and Beast Guy, they're both pretty OP. They're both very, very strong. What ends up happening is that Denki distracts everybody. He purposely gets captured, We learn that Beast Guy has one of Denki's discs on his leg, in which he pinpoints it, tries to electrocute him. Lucky that Scale Guy is in there shooting up the disc before any of that can happen. This leads Asui to get in there. This also leads Shinso to get in there and use his vocal cords, or kind of his second, his support gear, to basically project the voice of one of their teammates, which is really, really cool. So that's kind of what we learn more about Shinso's gear, is that he has the same raps as Aiwazawa, Eraserhead, and that his gear allows him to mimic other people's voices, making them think their teammates are talking to them when they're not. And then they talk, obviously, and then they get hypnotized, which is what happens to Miss Vine Girl. She gets hypnotized, and then she becomes essentially useless. Shinshida, Beast Guy, ends up going directly after Shinso, finally pinpoints his direction after Sue pretty easily, for the most part, defeats the Scale Guy, and he just keeps charging in, and it looks like, you know, Shinso is SOL. He's not running away. I don't know why. You would think you would hear him barging through this giant metal jungle of pipes and things, breaking everything along his path, but he ends up using the band similar to Aizawa with a giant kind of pipe, I guess the best way, and knocks it right on top of the guy's head. We think he's done, but no, he is not. And then he is about to beat up, you know, capture Shinso when he hears his teammate. He was like, "Your mind tricks aren't going to work on me." But in reality, it's Asui in the background literally whipping the teammate at him. They ends up knocking both of them out, and they win. And we're kind of where the episode ends. I think this is going to be like a Shinso heavy arc by the sound of it. I mean, he's going to be in 2 of these team battles, so definitely I think we're going to be seeing a lot of him in the near future. These other characters from Class 1B, I mean, they're cool. They definitely have cool abilities, but don't expect to see a lot of them. That's my guess. That's why I'm probably butchering half of the names. We don't see them a lot. We're probably not going to see them much after this arc. Maybe, you know, here and there they'll pop up, have their own little episode once in a while, as they've done in the past. But obviously the main focus is going to be Deku. So don't get your hopes up too much. Moving on to next episode, my guess is that Class 1B is going to get one in, because right now Class 1A has won the first round. I think Class 1B, it's the more popular characters, the characters we've seen before in the tournament arc. I believe that they're going to be the ones that end up winning the second round. We also got to see Hawks and a little bit of stuff that's going on with the League of Villains, so I think they're going to bring that aspect as well. It's probably going to be like a half-half episode, where like half of it is 1B kind of quickly defeating 1A, and then the other half is going to be Hawks doing his thing with the League of Villains, and trying to get in contact with Shigaraki to do who knows what, you know, get the mastermind behind everything, get the plans behind everything, and figure out exactly what is going on. I'm going to rate this one probably getting a solid, we'll say give it a solid 7. So definitely not the best episode, definitely not the worst episode. I mean, it's good. I mean, you want some action, you want some fighting, yeah, sure. But this isn't the one. It doesn't really have any of the main characters in it per se. So I feel like it's like you care just a little bit less about these characters, especially the 1B characters. I hate to say I don't really care about pretty much any of them. Their abilities, while yes, they are cool, they're not massively important to the storyline, minus this arc. So it's kind of like, yeah, you know, whatever. I'm going to forget their names, forget their faces, and then if they come up in another episode, I'm going to have to look up the character list like I have in front of me right now, in order to attempt to pronounce their names for all of you. But the fighting was good. You know, a little bit of comic relief in there. As I already said, you know, major annoyance for me was that, you know, we actually got like maybe 16, 17 minutes airtime as opposed to like more 18, 19, because of that annoying little recap in the beginning that was completely unnecessary. When you have episodes that are a week apart, I feel like a recap for the most part is fairly unnecessary, because it's still fresh in your mind. Even if it's not fresh in your mind, you kind of, it clicks within a couple of minutes of you watching the episode. So I'm hoping we don't get a bunch of those where it's just like recap after recap after recap every episode, and I hope we just start fresh every episode, kind of start where the last episode ended. I don't need a recap from last episode explaining stuff that I've already seen, and if I really, really want to, I can always go back and rewatch that episode beforehand anyway. So I think that pretty much sums it up. 7 out of 10, a decent episode overall. I am looking forward to next episode. I think we're going to get more into the actual plot point. I know this is like a training arc slash plot point thing. You know, obviously we got to deal with the whole Todoroki family thing at some point in time. We got to deal more with the League of Villains. We got to deal more with Deku. Talking to the past users of One for All. So a lot of stuff has to be done. We got 21 episodes left, so we got plenty of time to explain everything. Hopefully there's no kind of fillerish episodes in there. I'm thinking it's going to be all together. We may get a 2-week break in the middle of it, but we'll just have to wait and see. Take a look at Final Space. I'll be reviewing that tomorrow if you are interested and that as well. I got a couple other rando videos kind of coming up on the next couple of Thursdays. One is going to be Rick and Morty. What is the other one going to be? I got my little list right here. One is going to be Final Space. So those two are more cartoony videos as opposed to anime. I'm still kind of looking for a show to review. So if you have thoughts or a show that you would like me to review, comment down below. I still need to check out the high school show. I know one of you mentioned there was like some sort of high school comedy show. I will get to that sooner or later when I get some time. But primarily, I like to more review the new shows because they're more popular. Theoretically, it'll get more views, although, you know, the My Hero Academia videos, I'm probably getting like 50-ish views, 20 to 50. Kind of weird range, as opposed to Final Space, where I'm getting at least a couple hundred per those. So yeah, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell, leave a like, and comment down below what you think I should do for future videos and thoughts on this episode. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.